Hello, welcome to the session. And this is the module of Introduction to Business Operations and Management. My name is Dr. Salman Tetik. And in our previous session, we have discussed the team building and team development. Today, we are going to have three cases, and they are all going to be related to our team building and team management. So, based on the discussions and the cases, we will try to have a deep understanding of the team building and team development. Let's just try to remember the previous session and what did we do in our previous session. We talk about the process of building a team, what are the characteristics of the team, and why we need to build a team, or why do we prefer to build a team within an organization. And the third aspect or question is about how to build an effective team. So the discussions around those cases will help us to understand better the role of building a team and developing a team. So why is a case study? Why do we focus on the case studies? The case studies, as you know, that they are the real world scenario. So they are giving us a real samples, real example, real models from the real world. So it's making us being aware of the realities in workplaces. Yet, in terms of conceptual discussions and theoretical framework, we learn something by reading, discussing, having tutors, lectures. But on the other side, what are the practices? And the practices are coming from the real world scenarios. So it will help us to see the picture as a whole and also to make it clear. Okay, so in that case, we can start with the first discussion, and the first case is about the experience and in Microsoft company. So in this case, we are going to analyze the leadership style of Darcy Kleindel, and she is the sales manager at Microsoft. Actually, she is being hired. So after being hired, she implemented some of the change and some of the approach towards the team management and team development. And at first, I'm going to summarize the actions and taken by her, and then we are going to answer the questions are about the case studies. Let me talk about the questions, and then I will give you the brief on the case. First, we are supposed to identify the leadership approach or approaches used by Kleindel in building an effective team at Microsoft. And then we are going to give some opinions about how her style of leadership was suitable for the team she was aiming to build. And yes, now first, let me give you something about the case. At first, 40 exceptional employees, 6 short months, and the responsibility to one reputable Fortune 100 company. That is what exactly Darcy Kleindel was handed when she accepted a job as the General Manager of Sales Excellence and Sales Enablement for the Microsoft Business Solution Group. She inherited a global team of customer support managers, all of whom work with diverse clientele, including engineers, marketing organizations, consultants, and external customers. She also managed a team of leaders who drive worldwide standards for sales basic, internal and external readiness, and the business suite team and communications to accelerate Microsoft Business Solution Group. Yes, and the Kleindel was resolute in making a lasting impact. What happens so often is people do a one-time hit when it comes to team and leadership development. People are put in on class, and we accept it to change their world overnight, she explains. This is her approach. And her vision involved stabilizing a culture of trust, collaboration, and accountability, one that will resonate beyond just her direct reports. To do this, she sought the help of a trusted advisor, Bruce Lehman, an authorized partner of the 5 behaviors of cohesive team, who jumped at the opportunity. Actually, it explains the vision of her, and exactly, she is expecting a culture of trust, collaboration, and accountability from a team. So in order to do this, she gets the consultancy and help of Bruce Lehman, and she got as the trusted advisor of him. And what is it? The 5 behaviors of cohesive team. This is the concept was and owned by or implemented by Bruce Lehman. The 5 behaviors of a cohesive team is a comprehensive team development program based on the work of Patrick Lencioni. It helps both team members and leaders understand how their unique group dynamic can work together to build a more effective team and achieve sustainable results. So here, the study was performed on Microsoft Business Solution Group by the consultancy and the help of Lehman, the 5 behaviors of a cohesive team. So, and at the end, in the end, they are expecting building a more effective team and achieve sustainable results. Sustainable results. So they are starting to implement the practices of this approach, and by the guidance of the Lehman. And with the 5 behaviors as the foundation, Kleindel and the Lehman quickly developed the organizational capital program. With respect to this approach, 5 behaviors, they have developed organizational capital program. And this is the 6-month program, establishes a common language for the team to communicate, standardize expectations to improve accountability, strengthen leadership abilities, and create an emotionally intelligent culture. Actually, it is as it is expected by the Kleindel, because as you remember her vision, she wants to put this approach in teamwork. What are those things? To improve accountability, strengthening leadership ability, and creating an emotional intelligence culture. Okay, there are 3 things to be improved in a teamwork and in team culture. Okay, and then they are starting the 36 tentative colleagues participated in 2-day off-site training session. Lehman started by establishing conversation based on vulnerability, based on trust. And so it's taking time, as you know, that it took nearly 6 months. And what of the impact, as I think is the important part. Let me give you something about that. The organizational capital program is built on the lessons learned from that initial, the 5 behavior session. The impact seen within the Microsoft Business Solution Group has been multifaceted, explains Kleindel. I think this team has increased in visibility, sustainability as far as what they do and impact. Our relationship network has grown. Systems have been put in place to help with productivity. Our planning is more succinct, and the team is connecting more on one-on-one with people to explain their roles. Yeah, in terms of accountability, there was a notable shift. They have come to understand they don't always have to say yes. They trust each other and understand how to have healthy conflict when situations are offloaded to us that really should not be our job in the first place. So, as you have seen that, nearly all the expected behaviors from the team members in a teamwork were adapted to teamwork process. And this is the success of exactly the leader of this and the process. Okay, let's go back to our presentation and come to the first question. What is that? Identify the leadership approaches used by Darcy Kleindel in building an effective team at Microsoft. First, let me remind the leadership definition. What is the leadership? Leadership is the process of creating a vision and influencing people to get that vision, to reach that vision. Now, if you remember the starting point of the case, first, Kleindel, as the leader of this process, team building and team development process, she developed a vision including the behaviors, expected behaviors from the team members. And with respect to that, he is engaging with a trusted advisor, and it's based on the 5 behavioral approach. And they develop a program within the Microsoft Business Solution Group. And they implement by training session all those and the expected behaviors and the values from the employees or from the people within the company. So it took nearly 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, and based on the analysis, yes, they have reached their point, and now the team members are helping each other in Microsoft Business Solution Group, and also they are emotionally aware of the others, and so they have an emotional intelligence and group, and then also they respect each other, they communicate each other, and they also develop their leadership skill after this training and this development process. So, and what kind of leadership we can talk about that? Yes, it is an desired leadership style, including a vision, right? A vision, and taking actions towards reaching that vision. That's the success of Kleindel in Microsoft. So another thing, some of the leadership styles and do not care about employees' reactions. But as far as we have seen from the case, the Darcy Kleindel is focusing on her employees, and that's the point. So if any leader is employee-centered or employee-focused, the leader provides, in that case, development and the growth opportunities to their followers or members. And we have seen the same scenario in this case. So as the Darcy Kleindel is employee-focused, he gave all the benefits or all the opportunities to the followers for their growth and development. Okay. So actually it's possible to produce more things, but we have 2 cases more, and I think with the help of the other cases as well, we are going to have an entire picture at all. Do you think her style of leadership was suitable for the team she was aiming to build? Yeah, indeed, even though we do not have much information about the team profile, as with respect to the outputs was obtained as a result of this process, we may say that yes, the profile of the team members were quite fine to implement this process. So, and also the leadership style of the Kleindel was proper to implement this process within Microsoft Business Solutions Group. Okay. Yes, the second one, and the second case study is on Coca-Cola Company. Okay, what was about it? Actually, it's an exciting team study, teamwork for what? For developing their team management skills and team work ability. It's interesting study, an interesting work. And what was about that? Actually, they are looking for an opportunity to develop their teamwork skills in Coca-Cola company, and where it is in Memphis. And so the case is for an operation team of 20 employees from Coca-Cola located in Memphis, Tennessee. The group was planning their quarterly summit, so they always have the quarterly summit, and wanted a fun indoor activity to kick off their day of meeting, and they will also give them chance to bond with their fellow team members. So what is the action? It's really interesting. I think you will enjoy it. The group from Coca-Cola decided the portable activity, and the name of the activity is Escape Room. Jewel Haste will be the perfect solution. On the day of the event, employees were surprised to discover their meeting room had been transformed. What had once been a plain conference space with the simple chairs and folding tables had became their very own escape room experience. Maps, puzzles, and locked boxes were displayed throughout the room, with scattered clues hidden about. The group was thrilled, all the excitement, and they didn't even have to leave the building. Their goal was to find all the clues in the room, solve the puzzles, and recover the stolen jewel within the 2 hours before time ran out. In the end, the group managed to crack the final code and escape with 32 minutes to spare, providing they could collaborate and communicate even in a time pressure situation. Actually, this is very important point because in some cases, you know that teams work under a time pressure within a limited time. They are supposed to accomplish their team objective. So even though this is like a game, they had practiced in Coca-Cola company, it helps them to understand each other, collaborate each other, help each other, and working together. It's really a team inspiration. So what are the obtainings or what are the key points from this case or from this work? The 20 Coca-Cola employees all work together and collaborate as one big group because all they had a common purpose to accomplish, to get the jewelry. They only needed 2 of their 3 hints, making good use of their resource management. So by following the clues, hints, they try to get the result. So it helped them to understand the use few resources or less resources to get the result. Employees had the opportunity to bond and get to know each other better in a fun and energetic environment. So even though under the time pressure, so they are able to cope with the stress, okay? It's the point. So we don't have to be angry, anxiety, or being excited under the time pressure. So it gives them an inspiration to understand how to cope with the stress. And so you make something fun even though you have an assignment. And also the team has also practiced effective time management, as we have underlined, and different employees stepped up to solve different puzzles in the room. And the group was very effective at listening and communicating to solve them quickly. Okay, so finally, the group members explained their opinion about this workshop or group work and escape room experience, and they were really happy with that. Okay, so the question, what is that? Do you think that the current approach adopted by Coca-Cola can promote the team building? Absolutely. They are already used in some of the companies, and eventually, mostly the participants are very satisfied with these activities, and they think that their skills and abilities in teamwork are developed by using these methods, because it's not a theoretical approach. They are not reading, they're not observing, they are practicing it. It doesn't have to be a work assignment. It can be a game. It can be, as it was done here, a management game, a management practice or something. So it absolutely promotes the team building because it helps you to understand each other even in a game. So it's also useful to develop some of the specific skills in team building and team development. What could the company have done differently, or what other activities can you suggest to promote effective team building at Coca-Cola? Yes, it depends actually. What are the things can be developed or can be added to this group activity? And in next level maybe some of the hints or clues can be given less. So in that case, the group members can understand and better how to manage resources in a group work. It's the first thing. Another thing, the leadership can be tested. And it's exactly a pure teamwork, we know that. But there is nothing about the leadership style or leadership of the team. And in next activity, a leadership game or leadership role can be promoted in teamwork. It can be another way, or it can be another suggestion to this work. Okay. And the third one is going to be a case from Google. First, I want you to forge a short video. With respect to the video, we will discuss these questions. Okay.
Because studies show that teams tend to innovate faster, achieve higher productivity, see mistakes more quickly, and find better solutions to problems. Yet, not every team is successful. So how do you build a highly effective team that is capable of delivering expected results? A study run by Google will shed some light on this question and help us identify traits that all successful Google teams shared. Several years ago, Google launched an internal project Aristotle, which was a huge data study focused on the teamwork. The tech giant spent millions of dollars tracking 180 separate teams for 3 years. The goal of the project was simple yet ambitious: to find out what are the traits of the highest performing teams. In other words, the company wanted to know why some teams stumbled while others soared. Initially, the researchers' hypothesis was that maybe best teams had members who liked each other a lot, or there was a healthy mix of personality types, or the team members were friends outside of work. Yet, none of these seemed to matter. The researchers could not find any meaningful patterns in the data. Basically, there was no evidence that a mix of specific personality types, or skills, or backgrounds made any difference. The who part of the equation didn't seem to matter. As the researchers continued to study the groups, they noticed two behaviors that all of the best teams shared. First is that the team members spoke in roughly the same proportion, a phenomenon that researchers call inequality in distribution of conversational turn-taking. On some teams, everyone spoke during each task, while on others, leadership shifted among teammates from assignment to assignment. But in each case, at the end of the day, everyone had spoken roughly the same amount. In other words, as long as everyone got a chance to talk, the team did well. But if only one person or a small group spoke all the time, the collective intelligence declined. Second, the good teams all had high average social sensitivity, a fancy way of saying they were skilled at reading how others felt based on their tone of voice, their expressions, and other nonverbal cues. One of the easiest ways to determine social sensitivity is to show someone photos of a person's eyes and ask to describe what that person is feeling. An exam known as the reading the mind in the eyes. People on successful teams scored about average on this test. They seemed to know when someone was feeling upset or left out. People on less effective teams, in contrast, scored below average. they seem to be less sensitive towards their colleagues. By the end of the project, researchers came to a conclusion that it didn't matter who was on the team. What mattered was how team members treated each other. Teams where everybody talked and everybody showed respect by listening and paying attention created psychologically safe atmosphere inside the team. And psychological safety of each member in the group had a positive effect on the team's ability to succeed.
Yes, we have finished the video. So from the video, how can you build an effective team that is capable of delivering the right result? Actually, in order to build a team, and as you have seen on the video, and Google conducted a big data work, so they were looking for the reasons behind actually they were looking for the traits, the common people traits that results the good teamwork. But finally, as you can see, they didn't find any common trait from the group team members to get the good results. So what are the things? They have found some common behaviors and which were displayed by the team members on successful teams. What are the things? The first, for instance, once everybody had an equal chance to voice up their opinion, yeah, it's making a good teamwork atmosphere. And the second thing, psychologically or emotionally, if the team members are able to understand each other and they help each other, it's making an effective teamwork. And so we can talk about the common traits in that case. And some of the teams are more successful because the company or organization is providing psychologically safe atmosphere. If there is a psychologically safe atmosphere, safe conditions in a team and the building or in a teamwork, and they are more likely to be successful. This is the point. So actually, another thing is about the equality. So, and in some cases, as it was given in the example in the video, in some cases, once the people had a less chance than the others, and they are not contributing to the teamwork or team outputs. But if everybody is treated equally in a teamwork, and they are more likely to produce effective outputs for the teamwork. So in another case, and the being respected and respect each other. So even though actually we can get two outputs from this video, behavioral approach and emotional approach. So at all, psychological safety is providing team success at all, according to the Google research on team working. Yes. Okay, so if you have any question more on discussion and these case studies, you can send me email. So we will keep going on discussion on cases with respect to the teamworks and the team leadership. Thanks for the session. Have a nice day. Bye.